What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing well, and thank you so much for popping in to this one. This is a big one. At the end of every year, we gather together our top 10 best and worst films of 2020, or whatever year it is that you're talking about. So here we go. The best films, my top 10 picks for the best films of 2024. I haven't seen every film. I haven't seen September 5th. I haven't seen Sing Sing. I haven't seen Nickel Boys. A lot of these movies that I haven't seen yet, but I do plan on seeing them. But I'm really comfortable with this list. I think that of all the films that I've seen, uh, this is, I'm pretty comfortable with it. I went over it a couple times. It's probably going to look different than your list. Comment down below. What is your list? I'm very curious to see everybody else's list. So we've got 5 honorable mentions. Now, I've seen close to 100 movies this year. So to dwindle it down to just 15 was kind of a hard task, but we've got 5 honorable mentions. And those 5 are a film that's getting absolutely no buzz whatsoever, Steve McQueen's Blitz, Inside Out 2, Amelia Perez, Juror Number 2, and Terrifier 3. That's it. Those are our honorable mentions. Now moving in to my 10th favorite film of 2024, and that is Alien Romulus. This is a film that I think is one of the best films of the franchise. I think that the way that it played as a sequel to the Alien film was terrific. I think that the callbacks were terrific. Fede Alvarez is such a horror master, and how he incorporated the xenomorphs into this film was something really special, and hopefully this will get a nomination at the Oscars for visual effects. It should also get in for sound. It's a great movie. So if you're not a fan of the Alien franchise, or if you haven't seen it, maybe start with Alien Romulus. It's a really good sci-fi horror action thriller. So moving into my 9th favorite film of the year, that's an animated movie. You got 2 animated movies on this list, believe it or not. It's been a really good year for animation. But number 9 might surprise a lot of you. It is The Wild Robot. This is a beautiful animated film. It's one of the best DreamWorks movies in a very long time. I do think it's slightly better than Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which I think if I'm putting a top 5 DreamWorks together, that those two are definitely going to be in the conversation. But this movie, I mean, the way Lupita Nyong'o voices Roz and gives so much heart and depth into this robot, it was just a beautiful thing. And all the side characters and the story, the pure emotion of the film. Chris Bauer's score, which is going to get an Oscar nomination. I mean, it's a really great animated film, and it's just a great film. It's extremely entertaining. The animation is beautiful and vibrant, and that's why it's my number 9. But number 8, I think, is going to surprise a lot of you guys. It's a film that when I saw it, I was very excited to see it, and it didn't disappoint me. Disappointed a lot of people, and some people liked it, some people loved it, and I was one of the people that loved it. And that's Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Let me make my case for this. I think that the first one is obviously better, but I think that this movie, people thought the Monica Bellucci character was kind of forced and the Willem Dafoe character was kind of forced. But, Beetlejuice is a very chaotic character. So to kind of slip into his world and have a couple things going on, I didn't feel like the movie was messy at all. I thought it worked perfectly. I think Jenna Ortega was a excellent choice to join this universe. You have Delia Dietz, played by Catherine O'Hara, that, if the supporting actress category wasn't as competitive this year, I would throw her in for supporting actress. She is the life of the film. But just Michael Keaton, also the life of the film, should have gotten a Golden Globe nomination for this. He didn't miss a beat as Beetlejuice. Danny Elfman's score was terrific. And I loved the movie. I really did. I think this is going to be one of my most rewatched films over the next couple of years in this whole entire list. So moving on to number 7 is a film that I was really skeptical about. Not sure how to feel about it, but I turned out loving it, and that's Wicked. This movie is a terrific adaptation of that Broadway musical, which I've seen a little bit of. I skipped through it on YouTube, but the story is great. I mean, for this as a part 1, it works really well. And Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande command the screen, and I think they're both coming for Oscar nominations. This is a great adaptation, and it works really well as a story. To end the film with defying gravity, I think was probably this, and that's where the intermission goes in the movie in the play as well. So I think that it was just great. I mean, it was a great long film, but it was a great film. It was a very entertaining film, and I think you have Michelle Yeoh stealing the movie, and Jeff Goldblum coming in and stealing the movie. So Wicked is number 7. Number 6 is Conclave. This is a film that shouldn't be as good as it is, directed by Edward Berger, starring Ray Fiennes. This movie flies pretty quickly. It's 2 hours long, but the pace of it is really excellent. I think that there's not a dull moment. I think the script is fantastic. It's one of the best made films of the year. The production design is terrific. You have so many great elements in this movie, and the last 10 minutes kind of throws you a curveball, but this is a great film, and I love it, and I hope it is going to win something. I don't know if Ray Fiennes is going to win that Best Actor Oscar. We might talk about that a little later. But that's number 6. Number 5 is the next animated film on this list that's going to surprise a lot of you probably. It's Memoir of a Snail. If you guys watched Chris Stuckman's top 10 of the year, Memoir of a Snail made his top 10, and it made mine too. I think that the story here is so good, and the screenplay is so good. The voice acting. I mean, it's such a emotional film. There's a lot of emotion in here, and I think the movie has a beating heart and a beating soul. It's extremely entertaining. It's an R-rated animated film. It's not for kids. A lot of maturity, but a lot of crazy things happen in this movie as well, and I think it's terrific. And if I was voting for the Oscars, I would give this my vote. But Wild Robot, I think, will probably win because it's more accessible to the whole family. So that's number 5. Number 4 is a movie that after I saw it, I was kind of blown away by it, and that's A Real Pain. Jesse Eisenberg writes and directs this, but Kieran Culkin steals the show. Now, a lot of people are saying that, is he really giving much of a performance? Is this how he acts on the daily? He did an interview where he basically said he slips out of bed, he shows up to set late, and he just starts doing it. Not a lot of prep for him, so I don't know. Regardless, he said his lines well. I mean, he remembered his lines. I don't know. It was a great movie, though. I mean, the movie has heart. It has a depth beyond belief. There is so many great monologues in the film, and it's just one of the most memorable films for me. It's only an hour and a half, but I loved every second of it. That's Real Pain. Moving into number 3, with the top 3 best movies of the year. And number 3 for me is Nosferatu. This is a film that the first hour of it, I was sitting there not sure if it was going to make the list because the pace of it is really slow. It's a slow burn film. But by the end of it, everything started to come together, and I was like, okay, the pace of the movie was consistent. It's not like the pace was all over the place. It was very consistent. So I can watch it again knowing that and kind of just getting immersed into it because it was extremely immersive. The production design is immaculate. The costumes are fantastic. The acting, all around. This is an ensemble that should be nominated for the SAG. I mean, this is a hell of a movie. Bill Skarsgård is doing things in this film that, I think he's got superhuman powers or something because the way he's able to just transform himself is really unhuman. Now, this one I just saw recently, and I was lucky to have seen it because it's not going to come to theaters for, I don't know, a month maybe. I really have no idea. But I was lucky to see it, and God, am I so happy I did. Number 2 is The Brutalist. Adrian Brody. You're thinking, what is The Brutalist? It's a movie about a guy who's architecture. What is this? Well, it's a movie about the man. It's not a movie about architecture, so don't be worried. It's his story trying to find a life after a pretty horrific event, and he's got to reconnect with his family. And Guy Pearce is coming in, and I mean, it's just a tour de force film. It's 3 hours plus. I don't really think you needed the intermission, but I'm not going to, knock points for that. It's a terrific film. The Brutalist is just extremely entertaining. For a movie that's over 3 hours, I was never bored. I was always invested. The story always continues to move. I mean, the pace of this thing is lightning fast, I thought. The score was great. Brady Corbet did a great job with this movie, and I would pick him to win Best Director. I know the nominations aren't out yet, but I'm just kind of predicting. But yeah, The Brutalist is a terrific film. So whenever you have the chance to see it, make sure you do so. Number one may not come to a surprise for a lot of you. It's a film that's been number one for a very long time, and no one's really been able to dethrone it. It's made by the master Denis Villeneuve, and that's Dune Part 2. This is one of the best sequels I've ever seen in my life. The filmmaking at hand here, you have Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, who are friends, and they do interviews with each other. And the filmmaking on both of them. I mean, last year you had Oppenheimer, which is my favorite movie of last year. This year you have Dune Part 2. I do think Oppenheimer is a better movie if we're comparing. So I think whatever that means. But yeah, this film is just a breathtaking cinematic achievement on every level. Timothy Chalamet, if he's going to get nominated for anything, it's probably going to be a complete unknown, but I think he should be nominated for this. When he turns in the halfway through point of this film, he becomes so powerful. He's an on-screen presence. Zendaya is masterful. Austin Butler, I don't know why he's not in the Best Supporting Actor conversation. I really don't. He is excellent as Fade Routha, and I think he should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He's terrific. Another villain of 2024 that is not being recognized? It's Chris Hemsworth in Furiosa, a movie that's completely just been ignored, which I don't think, the movie wasn't that great. It was fine, but he was great in it. So, a lot of great supporting performances, a lot of great villain supporting performances. Fade Routha, Austin Butler. You have Guy Pearce in The Brutalist. You got Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2. You've got so many great supporting villains in this movie. So, yeah, Dune Part 2, that's my number one. And that's my list, guys. That's it. That's the top 10 best movies of the year. Comment down below. What's your top 10? Do you agree with any of these picks? Do you disagree with any of these picks? Have you seen movies that I haven't seen? September 5th, Sing Sing. I can't wait to see those movies. And when I do, I'm going to review them. And I'll definitely mention if they would have made the cut here or not. But can't wait to see those films. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for a bunch of reviews coming in the future, including the ones that I just mentioned. And you can follow me on Twitter and or X at RonnieKing72 and Instagram and TikTok at KingOfRises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my top 10 picks for the best films of 2024. And until next time, over and out.